The college baseball experience opening day preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Yes, make real money predicting sports, people. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college baseball experience. Opening day preview and picks episode. Oh, the season is here. I almost did the fucking eye paint. Underneath there, Will Clark style back in the day. All right. YouTube.com/the college experience. I've been sitting around the house all day. Had the Louisville Slugger, White Tiger. Why? Yeah, you better watch out. All right. I was swinging around, just swinging at bullshit. I got the plastic little T-ball set, just hitting dingers all through my son's bunk bed. But you hit top deck, that's bonus points right there. YouTube.com/the college experience. The season is here. Cannot wait. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, which is I think what everyone's doing right now. My name is Colby Swing at Database Dan, aka Pick Don D. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Oh boy, I purchased tickets, turned down tickets, and I got tickets we aren't using too. All over the place here. Cannot wait though. I am joined by the heartbeat of the college baseball experience. This guy, he's doing the Texas two-step over there. Maybe I don't even know how many games he's hitting tomorrow. There's that. Oh, look at him. Yeah, turn that camera around. YouTube.com/the college experience. He is inside a major league ballpark. Although it does have a roof, I'm trying my best not to shit on it right now. They're giving you the platform. My belief that baseball should always be outside, but give it up for Noah Bieniek. How are you doing, buddy?
No complaints about a roof when rain is expected everywhere east of the Mississippi later on in the weekend, and even here Saturday night. So 9 games this weekend. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean that is massive amounts right there. That's a great way to just kick off or hit off a season. I almost said kickoff. Hit off a season. Yeah, buddy. So Bieniek is live right now in Arlington, Texas, correct?
Yes, sir. Globe Life Field.
Back-to-back seasons there. There we go. That's pretty badass. And we are, of course, joined by third man in the booth. He is the host of the Head First podcast, former Cincinnati Bearcat alum. Give it up for JP Sponseller. How are you, brother?
I'm good. Can't complain. I've been waiting a long time for opening day. It's finally here, so I'm pumped up.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I was telling you guys this story before. Was originally planning to go to ECU if the weather was nice enough, but my wife being from South America, it's got to be a certain temperature for her to sit outside and watch sport, right? And did not meet those qualifications. So then my brother hits me up and he's like, dude, I got free tickets, Duke, Maine. And I was like, right on. But all right, why don't you take those free tickets and shove them up your ass. All right. And let's let's spend 15 hard-earned American smackaroos on the Indiana Hoosiers coming to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina, which I think is the best game considering Xavier and ECU is pretty decent. But so we got the tickets. We're 4:00 tomorrow. First pitch. I will be there. If you're going to the game in Chapel Hill, you let me know. SGPN will gladly buy you a beer. But yeah, buddy, I'm excited about the season. I know, JP, we got your time. JP's living his best life because he's going to get the games right when he wakes up. I feel like, what is that? What's first pitch? Your time zone there, JP.
First pitch of Wake Forest and Houston is at 7:30 in Puerto Rico.
How great is that? You cooking eggs with the girl.
I was saying, I literally couldn't help myself but have action on that game. So I will leave that to the rest of the show, but I will be having action on that game.
There we go. So yes,
I am joining him on that party.
Well, fuck. Give me that inside Iggy. I'm in. Let's go. Right? I'm in. What? Who you guys think you're dealing with here? I was betting marble races in Korean baseball during COVID. You think I'm not just going to sit silently on the first fucking game of the season? Let's go. All right. All right. Let's jump into this stuff because, man, what do we got? So there's so many games over the next couple next couple days, but Bieniek, can you explain the logic on how you selected the games?
Yeah, so basically selecting the games goes pretty much I'm choosing most of these games. We have 14 today that we're going to talk a little bit more in depth on. They're all reasonably bettable, like within odds of like minus 160 or shorter. If we're talking minus 300, I feel like that's kind of a waste of 4 or 5 minutes on a pod when all you just say is it's a parlay leg, and that's enough analysis on it. So that's like kind of criteria, or we're talking like big matchups, ranked versus ranked. There's one game that's like minus 200, but I felt like it was worthy of an opening weekend, kind of a talking topic. Also chose quality neutral site games. I texted it to JP, and now I'm forgetting what else I used on the criteria, but just quality games all around.
Right on. Probably
our 14 best quality and bettable games of the day.
Yeah, and don't be bitter. If your game doesn't make the cut, look, we still have the picks app. We'll try to get that covered in.
Yeah, and at the end of the show, we'll just rip our betting card, and maybe your game's included on that. So
yeah,
we're not talking LSU Milwaukee, unfortunately.
Yeah, look, we want to, but look, there's just only so much time, right? A-Train 33 in the chat says, "What books typically have college baseball?" He doesn't see it on FanDuel. Is that true? FanDuel doesn't have it, or is that maybe his state?
FanDuel has not opened any markets yet. On like they typically have lines, but I feel like they've been late today, right, JP?
They typically have lines. When I've looked like last year, they usually, a lot of the time for most games, if they do, they only have money lines, no run lines or over-unders. And honestly, in my experience, FanDuel has been the worst in college basebal.
DraftKings is king.
DraftKings is the best. Unfortunately, I'm banned. But
wait. Okay. I think I might. I might know why, but anyway,
it's literally just having someone log in and place a bet when I'm in like California or Utah or something, and then you got logins in different states. And I use Fanatics and BetMGM. Both of those seem to be pretty solid.
Yeah,
right on.
DraftKings usually opens, and it's usually the sharpest book because they do feel confident enough to put out their openers at limit, but still they're good enough feelers to kind of set the market, kind of dive in head first, and then all the other books kind of follow after DraftKings. They'll come in like a couple hours later and then just put out the same odds or a little bit more juiced to the favorite, maybe enticing you to take the underdog on their specific book. But yeah, DraftKings is typically the best, I feel, at opening every market first, way beforehand on a lot of the other ones. And then also they'll post totals and run lines way quicker. And sometimes books don't even post those. So
Yeah, Daniel Cady is asking, are there any alternatives is he saying to DraftKings? Yeah, well, I think we just gave those out, brother.
BetMGM is really good. Like they're probably your number one competitor of DraftKings in the college baseball market. Caesars is good. Bet Rivers is all right. Same with.
I thought we said Circa. If he's in Arizona, I think he might be able to get Circa.
Yeah. If you are in a state with Circa, which I know they're kind of expanding, but still it's a limited amount of states. Circa's very good, and they are pretty similar to DraftKings in that they will open sometimes, and their trader feels confident enough to kind of be bullish on some lines and welcome in money on spots. So, but yeah, we said on a previous show, like JP, I mentioned it. You know, sometimes in college basketball or college football, you'll be like, a line smells. No, in college baseball, it's just like that's just a square line that needs to be bet.
Yeah, it's undercovered, and I think like that's the thing. We've done it now. I mean, Noah knows the game much better than I. I've never, but one thing I will say is the coverage seems to be improving by year. Much, you know what I'll compare it to? I host the FCS college football show, and the FCS show used to get lines like so late it was almost impossible to do the show. Like I was doing it like on the fly with like, hey, we got 3 hours to kick off. We got lines, but now 4 or 5 years into this thing, they're releasing these things Thursday night now for the Saturday games. So
Bet's talking about if you have an ounce of brain cells, the Rivers will shut you down to basically zero. Yeah, like sometimes early on in the market opening, like I'm limited to just a $6 bet. It's crazy.
That is hilarious. I can't say that's ever happened to me. But all right. Well, look, let's jump into this because we got a slew of games, and let's just start right now. Tomorrow morning, depending on what time is this one? Because this isn't the first game on the slate, but
this
like
one's
time wise,
East.
Yeah.
The first game was Wake Forest, Houston. Wake Forest is like a -240 favorite, and I think both JP and I were alluding to possible parlays, including the Deeks at the end of the show there.
Now we're talking. So Texas Tech is part of the Shriners Children's College showdown there at Globe Life Field, where Bieniek is currently I think as far as I know, he's sleeping there. They might not know that. We asked him about his internet at the hotel, and he said he hasn't checked in yet. So
I haven't even checked
Hey, Globe
in yet.
Life. Globe Life, I don't know that you agreed to this deal, but this guy's pulling a Rudy Rudinger here. He's just going to end up sleeping in the maintenance room. Please give him a key and a key to the cot there. Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Arlington, Texas. Bieniek, we've talked on this in college hoops and even in college football, where the Big 12 championship is hosted in Arlington. Texas Tech. One thing I did not know, and I just kind of learned this when they played the Big 12 championship there, and I feel like they played Arkansas in a basketball game like a week later. Apparently, a lot of alums from Texas Tech reside in Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth area. Will, are you expecting this to be a Red Raider crowd?
I'm expecting this one to be close to 50-50. Texas Tech doesn't show up in absolute droves for baseball. Neither does Oklahoma, but both of them have rooted, passionate college fan bases in general that will show up for good games. And you're going to have 3 really good games this weekend. Colby, I'm excited to possibly see Cody Campbell. We'll see what happens. He'll either probably be here or St. Pete / Clearwater because there's a huge softball tournament this weekend.
Well, if you see him, you got to say your co-host Pick Dundee here was good friends with Mike Leach, the guy who recruited him.
Yeah,
and we would love to send some gear to him and also have him on the show. So or we will travel to Lubbock to have whatever. Yeah. But if you see him, please relay that message. So Texas Tech.
I also wanted to say this too. Half of these slides, I don't know for whatever reason, have hanging, floating letters. Like I'm not this dumb putting together slides. I don't know why the Oklahoma A is just like floating.
That's just how I spell Oklahoma. I didn't know there was an A. I overrode the thing and I said, what is Bieniek doing with this A at the end of Oklahoma? I think it's Oklahoma. You got it all wrong, buddy. YouTube.com/the college experience. But yeah, Texas Tech, I'm currently seeing plus 110 on the money line, minus 140. The over under set at 12.5 runs. If you wanted to take the Red Raiders, they're plus 1.5 at minus 145. Oklahoma at minus 1.5 at plus 115 over at DK. Bieniek, your thoughts on this matchup? This will be the first game that you are seeing, correct?
Yeah, it will be. I think it'll be a good one too. I don't really know what to expect of Texas Tech this early on in the season. I do believe that Tim Tadlock is a hell of a coach, and last year's 9th place finish in the Big 12 will be more of a blip in the radar, or kind of a bad sample and much better sample size over the last 15 years that we've seen Red Raider baseball be very quality. And one reason for the dip in performance last year, I do believe, is Jackson Burns' injury early on in the year. This is a guy who they were really high on last year, and he barely touched the bump. He only pitched like an inning. But he's a mid-90s fastball guy, and has a 4-pitch mix that Texas Tech is really excited to see here against Oklahoma. My pick is on the Sooners. I'm not betting this game because I want to see this lefty for OU pitch in Cam Johnson. He's been so volatile, so up and down in his college career, but through high school and the prospect route, like, he was one of the more heralded recruits to get to college. He started his career at LSU and just hasn't been able to find it, right, JP?
Yeah, honestly, this from both sides. I mean, you got you mentioned Jackson Burns coming off an injury last year, and then the volatility of Oklahoma's starter's career. And to me, this is probably like the scariest possible game on the market tomorrow. So if I had to bet, I'd probably lean with Oklahoma, but I'm staying the hell away from this one.
Yeah, Cam Johnson has been very off through his first 2 years of college baseball. I think Skip Johnson, being a strong head coach with a good pitching background, he would not give Cameron Johnson the nod here on a Friday night opening day if he didn't believe in him and think that he's somewhat figured something out. So that's why I'm on Oklahoma, and their offense just doesn't. They do just enough, working a little bit of small ball in, especially here in the big park, gigantic outfield here in Globe Life. But also, I just think they'll put bat to ball. Like, that's their offense. Get knocks, move around runners, manufacture runs. I think the Sooners win a low-scoring game here. Look at that under 12.5. I think both offenses are average. Both pitchers have some plus stuff, and we possibly see surprising under to some people.
Well, I mean, I got to ride the Red Raiders, guys. I hate to differentiate with you guys who know, but they're there. I feel like they'll have a tiny bit more of the home edge than you think. Texas Tech has put a lot of money in their athletic department. What is it? Kyler Thompson, 29 stolen bases last season. All right. He's projected as their opening day center field starter from what I understand. And Logan Hughes, just an absolute beast there. 19 homers, 58 RBIs last season. We are doing things here with this Red Raiders team, and this money, this Cody Campbell money, doesn't matter the sport. I don't give a shit if it's playing a game of darts right at the local pub. I'm taking a shot on whoever's coming out of Texas Tech. So give me the Red Raiders. Yeah.
Been waiting a long time, A-Train.
That might come out on his lock. That's his lock music. But yes, I do like the under, though. We can agree there. JP, you would you agree with the underplay that Bieniek was saying?
Yeah, I'm staying away from it just from as much as I question both starting pitchers. I mean,
if you really need to scratch the itch, I highly advise under or nothing. Here at Globe Life, I believe the unders last year went 6-3 or 7-2. So it's just a big park.
Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. All righty. Next up after that, we jump over to Athens, Georgia, where Wright State. Remember Didn't they upset Virginia Tech, or was it the other way around? I think they upset Virginia Tech on opening day a couple years ago. The Raiders of Wright State, previously the Vikings, now traveling to Athens, Georgia. The Wright State plus 370 on the money line. It's minus 560 for them dogs. The over under at 13.5. I mean, look, if you want to lay 4.5 with Georgia, it's plus 100. Bieniek, your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, people will be thinking, what this guy was just talking about. He wasn't putting any of these games on that were like massive odds for favorites. Well, not if you want the dog. And give me the Wright State Raider game here at plus 370. Sprinkle a little bit there, but also take the plus 4.5 that Colby was just talking about to cover your ass. Because I think Wright State's live in this one, guys. Georgia is going to be starting Joey Volchko on the mound in this one. And if anybody's paid attention to college baseball the last 2 years, again, another heralded recruit out of the prospect ranks, and he just hasn't been able to figure it out on the college mound. So far in his career, he's thrown 113 innings, and his opponents have a 271 batting average against. And if there's one thing that I know Wright State can do, it is bash. They can hammer the baseball. Their offense is very solid. They bring back a couple of their star players from last year, and JP Peltier and also Cam Gilkerson, just two that I'll name off the top of my head there. The hype around Volchko this year, I think, is real, and I'm somewhat interested in seeing it, but I'm going to have to see it to really believe it, and I'll take that plus 4.5. There's so many new pieces with this Georgia team. They bring in like 30-plus new transfers. I think that this is a very advantageous spot for the dog on opening day, and we've seen Wright State be able to take advantage of some of these spots, and I'm really high on Cam Allen, who JP is going to talk about here.
Yeah, Cam Allen, the starting pitcher for Wright State. Last year, he started 13 games. He was 7-3 with a 4.95 ERA, 67 innings pitched, and 71 strikeouts and 41 walks. I'll be honest, I do respect the Wright State program a lot. We played against them a lot at Cincinnati. Papa John's saying that they're the best program in Ohio might be he might have to hold his horse.
Might be offensive to you.
He might have to take a rest on that one. But honestly, I respect Wright State enough to where Georgia is not included in any of my parlays or anything. If I had to take a bet here, I would probably lean the over 13.5 just because of how explosive both of these lineups are. And I mean, that park is just an absolute bandbox. I could see some balls flying out this weekend.
Yeah, very true. Throughout the weekend, should be a lot of scoring. Yeah, Cam Allen, the last time we saw him on the mound in the college baseball was last June, where he had a no-hitter through 6 innings, and he's pulled after 75 pitches against Vanderbilt, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. Now, I know Vanderbilt's offense sucked last year, and that was a good reason why they didn't have any hits through 6, but he also pitched incredible in that game, and that's just flashes of what he can be at his full ability. Alex Sogard, the head coach of Wright State, is a pitching coach at heart and was a pitcher back in college, and I think that's his strength in the coaching game. And Wright State just turns out these studs year after year, and I think Cam Allen's really going to excel and climb up the charts kind of in draft circles. So give me Wright State, sprinkle plus 370, take the plus 4.5. I like the Raiders today.
I mean, the 4.5 is, I know it's minus 130, but that's not that bad.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if you think this is going to be a game, it's not that ridiculous with the minus 130 there to take that. Now, like I said, I know the chat was talking Wright State upset Vandy, and I remember opening day, I want to say Virginia Tech was preseason top 25, like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And Wright State opening day, we had it on at the studio in LA. Wright State put up like 20 runs on them, dude. Like, I shit you not. And they just blew them out in Blacksburg on opening day. I want to say that was it. But yeah, sign me up for the points. I'll take the points or the runs, I should say.
Yeah. The other thing, the one more thing that I wanted to mention, Wright State's only announced 2 starters for the weekend. Typically, most teams will announce 3 unless their pitching staff blows. I don't think Wright State's pitching staff is bad. I think that if they see an opportunity to take a win on the road at Georgia, they will throw the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
They will use anybody and everybody in that bullpen to sell out and get one win in the 3-game series. So I think they're live, and I'm probably going to sprinkle them in each of the games that they're going to play this weekend against Georgia, the first 2 anyway, because the second game is going to be started by Dylan Vigue, who also I'm not very high on, former starter of Michigan, and he just could never really throw strikes. So I'm on Wright State for both games.
All right, I'll sprinkle a little bit on that money line. I'll take the points and apparently take the over. How about that? I'll bet all 3 sides of this. Fuck, let's go. All right. All right, next up, we jump to the MLB Play Ball Desert Invitational here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm assuming, Daniel Cady, you're going to be at this thing since you reside in the Phoenix Scottsdale area or Tempe area. Iowa is minus 115 on the money line as these Hawkeyes are taking on the Kansas State Wildcats. Also minus 115 on the money line. I do see the over under at 12.5. And once again here, to compare the Wright State game here, the K-State's getting plus 1.5, but it's minus 155. All right, now here's Wright State getting 4.5, and it's minus 130. I mean, come on. Your thoughts, Bieniek, on this matchup between these two cornfield teams?
I think this matchup's a real coin flip today between Iowa and Kansas State. They both are very similar in the fact that often fly under the radar, often a little bit overlooked. Iowa's pitching staff is usually very good. They kind of reload every single year. They lose a little bit too much for my liking. I am relatively high on Tyler Guerin just because he's the Iowa Friday night starter, and I'd rather be bullish than be caught, with my hands in my pockets on a Iowa ace potentially. Those guys typically pan out to be quite good. For Kansas State, it was a little bit of a surprise with them leaning towards James Guyette, who last year did not make a single start. He relieved in 24 games through 51.2 innings, had 51 strikeouts, walked 27. So it was about 1 per every 2 innings on that. But for them to give him the nod over a guy like Lincoln Sheffield, who does have some starting experience, I'm expecting a little something out of Guyette this season. He's a low 3/4 guy who gives the hitters a tough angle to hit. He was one of their best bullpen arms last year. I think he's going to go all right. Give me the Wildcats in this game in a tight one. Also kind of low scoring, but I'm not as confident in that as I am just pick the minus 115 team on the money line here in K-State. JP, how do you feel?
Yeah, I know I mentioned it with Oklahoma and Texas Tech. This is another game that's just like a perfect example of what I stay away from at the beginning of the year. I think like first weekend or two, I really like to bet the starting pitchers that I trust and know. And this is a perfect example of what is his name? Tyler Guerin. He only threw 16 innings last year. And then Guyette has only made 2 starts in his whole career. With that being said, I would favor the Wildcats here just because I believe in fading the Big Ten and first thing. And second, this K-State team seems to always be on this national scene the first couple weeks. So I have a little more confidence in this squad being prepared for opening day. So I'd go with the Wildcats here.
Yeah, I'm jumping on these Wildcats too. I'm excited to see Carlos Vasquez, a Western Kentucky transfer who hit 366 with 22 doubles last season. And then Grant Gallagher. All right. The ETSU transfer coming in. Let's go.
Yes, he's a guy that should be pretty solid ad for Kansas State there at shortstop.
Let's go. I'm on these Wildcats too. I just believe in fading the Big Ten too. Sorry, Bieniek.
I mean, I don't claim that we're a baseball league whatsoever.
But let's before we get to the next game, I want to let you folks know that the college baseball experience is part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And besides this fantastic weekend of college hoops and college baseball, we got the Daytona 500 coming. Starting this weekend? Just start your friggin' engines, people. The NASCAR Gambling Podcast crew is hooking it up, giving away $100 cash and $100 SGPN gift card. Enter for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Kalshi. Kalshi is a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. And Kalshi has a ton of trading options for your favorite sports and even besides sports. They have a ton of other markets, including politics, entertainment, hell, even the weather. It's Kalshi. You can trade anything. New Kalshi customers will get $20 when they use the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is the +1 social sports book and casino out there, available in 35 plus different states, including California and Texas. Get in on the action with Rebet. Plus, get 100% purchase match up to $100 with the promo code SGPN. Once again, that is Rebet, promo code SGPN. All right. Next up, let's jump over to the second game Bieniek will be at. Vanderbilt taking on TC. Don't worry about that, you. TC. All right. Texas Christian. Yeah, you know.
I didn't realize I was on mute. Like, what is this? Like, I know I didn't do that, but yeah.
That was me. I said, "Whoa, he's got this all fucked up." Let me just put Texas Christian in there, and put and it kind of looks like a 4 now when you say on the money line plus 420. Smoke him if you got him. Yeah, exactly. Vanderbilt laying. I'm sorry, -155.
I love how the guy living in Colorado didn't say it, and the two others did.
Is that why he moved to Colorado? I always wondered why he jumped out of there. Right? He said like he was going for his relationship or something. I don't remember what he told me, but now I understand it. He wanted the mushrooms, the legalized mushrooms as well. I get it. I'm connecting the dots now, JP. Yeah. All right. You think you could be squeaky clean talking to us prick bastards over here? Look, Vanderbilt's laying 1.5 at +100, by the way. TCU at +1.5 at -130. The over under at 10. And Vanderbilt -154 on DK currently, as TCU is +120, not 420, unfortunately. Gentlemen, I know we both. I don't want to say we were both high on Vanderbilt, but I felt like we were high on TCU. When we did our preview, go listen to our SEC and Big 12 previews. Those are still available before first pitch there. So I'm, and maybe it's just my heart has been a big fan of TCU over the past few years, but and this will be my third Big 12 pick of the day, which is pretty terrifying. But what I feel like we were higher on TCU when we previewed these teams. Am I crazy, Bieniek? Because that right there, it should say something. But at the same time, Vanderbilt's been good for like forever. So
I am personally, to answer your question.
Okay, there we go. See there. So what's the logic on TCU? Say I'll go to you first, then Bieniek, you can go after this. But I like because I'm buying in. I've been loving that run to Omaha a few years ago. This TCU team's been a ton of fun. Why should we take them tomorrow, JP?
I mean, first of all, this team performed really, really well last year, and they're bringing everyone back and even adding a couple. Not to mention, at least for tomorrow's game, they got Tommy Lepore on the mound, who he was my love Nate Taylor, but he was my Big 12 pitcher of the year favorite. And I think he's going to be one of the best pitchers in the country. He runs it up to 98, 99, and he's got a nasty slider too. And I know he may not be able to go deep into a game tomorrow just because of pitch count and stuff like that. But I have no doubt that he's going to be ready to go tomorrow, and I expect him to go 4 or 5 solid innings. And there's a lot of new pieces, or a few new pieces to that Vandy lineup. So I'm going with Tommy Lepore. This is actually one of my bets that I will be taking is TCU money line. And then as well, I do respect Connor Fennell. Kind of has that weird arm slot, and he's been very successful. So I did jump on the under 10.5. But you know that righty arm slot doesn't always play as well into left-handed hitters. And TCU does have a lot of left-handed hitters that could swing the bat. I'd be curious to kind of see those splits, but I'm going with the Horned Frogs. I think they got a chance to make a statement all weekend.
Colby,
What book is it's all Gucci a plus 108? He's getting terrible value on TCU. What were you gonna say, Bieniek?
yeah, shop around. I mean, it's college baseball. It's a niche market. Their prices are going to be all over the place. But I typically do believe that DraftKings and Circa are going to have your two sharpest lines. Yeah, I've plenty of different talking topics on this game here. I'll start first very broad and just conversations that I've had with buddies like JP and others in group chats. Like, I believe that the DraftKings trader, for whatever reason, like the odds maker, the guy that sets everything up and is willing to take on risk for and against teams and markets, is not very high on TCU. You could see it in the Big 12 market. They're plus 400 to win the league, and they were everybody's kind of front runner and hands down favorite to win the Big 12. And I kind of agree with everybody. And so it could be lone wolf, or it could be, a lot of confidence, but I commend him for wanting to take on the money. So I'll say that, because I think that's what's going on here with TCU being, in my opinion, disrespected with their ace on the bump at plus 120 and plus 400 to win their respective conference. Now for this matchup that we're going to see here on Friday afternoon, Colby, what makes college sports so great is the matchups. And this is like for Vanderbilt is similar to, run the damn ball type of offense in football. TCU, a little more high flying, flashy offense. Vandy, their ace on the bump is Connor Fennell. JP was talking about it. This guy is nothing like Tommy Lepore. Connor Fennell is 6'1", 160, soaking wet. And his fastball doesn't even really touch 90 half the time. But last year, he was fourth in the country in strikeout rate. Fourth in the country. He struck out the fourth most percentage of hitters in 53.1 innings. He had 84 strikeouts and just 11 walks. He had a 2.53 ERA, a 6-0 record. This kid's wicked. The fastball plays up, even though it doesn't have tremendous velocity, and a lot of it because of the high rising action it has out of the low three-quarter slot, and his slider's also really good too out of that arm slot. So he provides plenty of challenges, but like JP mentioned, there's a couple of big left-handed swingers in this TCU lineup that I think could have a little bit of a matchup advantage in this one against Fennell. And then the other pitcher, like JP mentioned, is Tommy Lepore, and this is a unit, like 6, I don't know his exact stature, but he's physical on the bump. And guys, just this is you're only going to get boots on the ground analysis hitting on this. Shriners Children's Hospital, they were giving out gift baskets and goodies to all the players and coaches. And JP, they were giving out a 6-pack of C4 to every player. And I know the clip of Tommy Lepore smashing an energy drink in the dugout and just charging up onto the mound and throwing triple digits.
Oh yeah, I was gonna, not to cut you off, but he's he's not a huge guy. Like, he's only 6 foot, 6'1". He's just built. He was a wrestler in high school. He's actually an Ohio kid. I know we touched on that before. But yeah, he fires me up out there. He's gonna get me juiced up to root on the Horned Frogs tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, so it's safe to say these two pitchers are completely different, but both are elite. Both are probably top 5 in the country based off of returning stats from last season. So I'm extremely excited to watch this pitchers duel. I like that under 10 that JP gave a shout to, but you can't pass up the money line value here with TCU plus 120. I'm probably going to have or advise a piece of both for those that are looking to bet this game.
Yeah, BetMGM is giving that half a run. I got under 10.5 at minus 130 for awesome. Anyone that's wondering.
That is good. Yeah, I think I'll jump on the under. Maybe I won't even play a side here because you scared me off with the pitching battle there with Connor Fennell sounding like the next Bob Malaki over here.
I'm gonna put up my best effort to be sitting behind home plate for this one. I want to be up close and personal watching these two go at it.
Heck yeah. So I guess I'll play the under on this. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe if I end up hitting that early morning play in Puerto Rico. I don't remember the exact trend, but the unders were money in this building last year, and they typically are throughout the season in this building. Yeah. Makes sense. Anything else you guys want to say on this game?
No, just fantastic. Sign me up to watch it. Everybody subscribe to Flow Sports. Get the subscription.
Got it
for
on
baseball.
right here.
Last year, it was actually so much improved compared to a couple of years ago. They've invested in
Their camera quality is way
cameras.
better. Now, look,
Oh
it's
my
still,
God.
that's
so much better.
Dude, before I felt like you were,
It was a potato.
before you were watching it on like a satellite in
microwave.
space. Yeah, it was like, what the hell am I viewing here?
You know, the South Florida football creative team, they're bringing out like doorbell cams and like flip phone cameras, videos of that. Their Nintendo DS. That's what the cameras were. Flow Sports was using 2 years ago. And I was like, what is this shit? And they're charging $25 a month. Get out of here. But it is so much better. I would say it's worth the money because it's not just this weekend. The next 3 weekends are all going to have great games on Flow Sports. So
let's go. And you got college hoops too. You got the CAA.
CAA.
Here's how you know the real sickos. They got like D2 everything. Like I'm talking everything. You could watch some crazy shit like on D2.
I've already
been wrestling.
Yeah, I've been. My brother's a coach in baseball at a D2 school. I've already been watching some D2 ball on Flow
Let's
Sports.
Let's go, man. Yeah, I saw, dude. I saw a game. I want to say it was like January 31st or something. I want to say it was Charleston, who I know is not D2, but they were playing. They were playing somewhere. And it was snowing. It was like another South Carolina team because we just got hit by that. The Carolinas in the South just got hit by this gigantic snowstorm. But it was like the opening day, D2 baseball.
It could have been Charleston, West Virginia, as a D2 baseball team.
That maybe that's what it was. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was. But it just imagine opening day. I mean, I guess you see it sometimes in the MLB occasionally. I remember like the Pirates doing it. But
this is a good question from Brian Notke here, saying like, "Hey, do you think the starter will go 4 or 5 innings on opening weekend?" It all depends on how they manage their pitch count effectively or not effectively. But in us liking the under, and I'll speak for JP probably here too, I think Vanderbilt's got one of the best bullpens in the country. And if Fennell ends up coming out early, they'll have long relievers ready to go to put on cleanup duty, and I think they'll be able to limit runs in the back half of the game too. TCU's got a really nice 1-2 punch in the back end of the bullpen. If Lepore comes out in the 4th or 5th, the under could be a little bit more vulnerable than I'd like it to be. But I have faith in Lepore giving us 6 and TCU being able to shut it down in the final 3.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just wanted to key in on the Iowa Lakes situation there with the community college team. Man, want to send our love and condolences and prayers to them. Yeah.
Shout out to Dylan Nielsen. Ended up meeting him last year in Omaha. We'll talk about it at the end of the show. The 11.7 Pick'em contest. He was one of the winners. I believe he ended up winning the Survivor contest. So. Cool
and JP, I know I want to jump back to you, but I just want to hit on some of these questions here. Mr. Brad Martin saying, where can I watch college baseball games? We talked about Flow Sports, which is a subscription service. ESPN Plus will also have a ton of these games, or even like the SEC Network might even play the Georgia game or something. But
SEC Network too.
What was the other platform?
Victory Plus.
Victory Plus is free, so
yeah,
you'll have access to there. Even I think.
I don't know how many games they're going to have throughout the year, but I know for sure every game of that Puerto Rico Challenge is on Victory Plus.
Okay, so there you go. We answered that for tomorrow, and I mean, when does college baseball season start? Says Namdio. Look, in about say what less than 12 hours. Yeah, I was about to say. So you're in perfect timing. Get your futures in. Go listen to our episode after this where we talk about season-long futures and stuff. But yeah, JP, I'm sorry I didn't mean to cut you off, man. What else did you want to address in this game?
I don't even remember what I was going to say.
Okay, all good.
It wasn't
important
enough.
Yeah, it probably wasn't important.
The D-Gens, there's aspects to the pod that it's for everybody. Like Colby provides the entertainment. We're doing our best to give good analysis. Like not everybody here is diving in deep to baseball, and Colby's you're portraying what I think most of our viewership is going to be.
These guys played at a very high level. You know what? I stopped. I was the worst.
Played is doing a lot of work there for me.
Well, I'm just saying, you played in high school. I'm saying, like, for me, dude, I couldn't hit for shit. All right, like I could not hit if I tried. Right, I wasn't a bad fielder or anything, but it ran out. All right, I tried. I went to a level, and they said, Dundee, you are fucking terrible. All right, so sit your ass down. All right, but you can still appreciate it. You know what I mean? You can still appreciate it. So you guys got that insight, and it's something that I've been growing. And I feel like, honestly, if you're in the chat, there's probably a good percentage that are probably like me. That okay, over the years, you've tuned in. You love baseball just because you grew up with it. I grew up an Orioles fan, and you're sitting there like, hey, damn, I remember like 10 years ago, man, this Omaha thing or this this college baseball thing, I should really give it a try. I don't watch it all the way into the championship game, right? And each year, this thing's getting better and better. So I've made like a collective effort each year to get more into it. And every year I come away thinking I need to go further into this because this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like I need to go further into this because it's such a great sport. It's completely undercovered. And I think that the ratings would even back what I'm saying because I think most fans are having this epiphany just like me.
For sure. It is a growing sport, no doubt.
All right, next up we have the Toreros of San Diego who have not had bad weather. Right. And meanwhile, Charlotte, man, we've been dealing with snow over here, man. Heading to the Clit to take on Charlotte. Charlotte laying -160. I just can't get out of my head Charlotte's outfielder Carson Bain, who hit that grand slam to beat East Carolina like a couple years ago. I don't know that I can ever take Charlotte, guys, because of that. It's like a Vietnam flashback for me. It's just like, but Torero's going cross country. On campus, taking on the Clits. Bieniek, your thoughts on this matchup? Because I'm quite fast. Oh, by the way, I should say +124 for the Toreros there. Charlotte is -160. The over/under is at 12.5. And if you did want to take Charlotte -1.5, it's +105 on DK. Bieniek?
Yes, San Diego's been a really steady program out west for a couple of years now under Coach Ungricht. I think he's doing an outstanding job with the program. But I'm also really high on Coach Rob Woodard at Charlotte. We've talked about the 49ers on the show, and I've talked a little bit positively on them in that conference futures portion of, I think it was last episode. So I won't go too deep, but I think that Charlotte's got a really good pitching staff this year, and it starts with the ace, Andrew Cribbs. He's a former Tennessee transfer, and we've seen some of these Tennessee transfers really hit big last year in his first year, kind of pitching a bulk of innings in a season in college baseball. He made 15 starts for Charlotte as their Saturday starter, through 65 innings, had 61 strikeouts, held opponents to under a 260 batting average against. I think he's going to take another step forward. His off-speed pitch is, got 2,700 RPM. That means it's moving at a pretty good rate, and it's tough to tell whether it's the fastball or a breaking ball because of the tight spin. It does a pretty good job throwing off hitters, and especially the timing and whatnot. So I think Cribbs is a very good, solid Friday night guy, and I think he'll be able to get the job done against a relatively weak offense for San Diego. However, there's a super familiar name to even, very, lax college baseball fans, but very into MLB, at least at some interest, as Adrian Beltre's son, AJ Beltre Jr., is on San Diego. He's one of their better players, playing third base or shortstop, depending on where he lands in the opening day lineup. So I'm excited to see him. He's the big bat in that lineup that could scare me a little bit with Charlotte, but I think that Charlotte is my pick here. And we'll talk a little bit more on this series later on in the show. JP, what is your feel on this game?
Yeah, I don't have a ton here, to be honest. This is, again, one that I'll probably stay away and just learn a little bit from watching. This is actually, I believe, a full 3-game series, which will be one of the more competitive ones that we get to watch this weekend. Yeah, I would probably lean Charlotte here. I know I really like their pitching coach. He's been doing really good things since he's been there, and he's been just pumping out weekend starters left and right. I would probably lean Charlotte. The weather here is an interesting thing because, like Colby said, North Carolina weather has been pretty bad, and I know in San Diego it's been really, really nice as of recent. But then again, it's only going to be like 50 degrees in North Carolina tomorrow, so like maybe that plays into Charlotte's favor a little bit. So I don't know. This one's just kind of an interesting one, but I'm gonna stay away from this one.
Also, he brings up a good point there with the weather that sparked my memory. I believe this is one of the series that has a doubleheader on Saturday. Keep an eye on that when you're betting games on Saturday. The books will only post the odds or game lines for game one on the day. You won't, most of the time, you're not going to see the second game, odds on the second game. And most of the time, they may even have the timing wrong on the game, but they will still mark it as a result of the first game that's played between the two teams on the day. The scheduling, specifically due to weather throughout the college baseball season, can get thrown off, and that's just speaking from experience.
Couple things I want to ask here. So yeah, the weather play to me makes me think we should take San Diego, mainly because I feel like they've had more time to actually play in decent weather. And do you think San Diego, and you guys tell me this because maybe I'm full of shit here, but they're plus 125 on the money line here. Would they practice at night? Because night in San Diego is about 50 degrees, like around this time of year. So to get used to the temperatures here, do you think they would do that?
I'm sure they probably would.
Oh yeah, I'm all over these Toreros. Get this wannabe ECU shit out of here. They come to the AAC, right? Swinging their bats, thinking they're a bunch of hot shots. All right, Toreros, live on the money line. Let's go.
Let's say if I had to pick one, I'll go with you on the Toreros.
Let's go, man. Yeah, I've had enough of this nonsense over here. Who do they think they are? We got Jaden Lobliner, 2025 WCC Defensive Player of the Year. You're not getting any shit past him. Let's go. Next up, we have UC Santa Barbara, the Gauchos, heading to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where they got that Brett Favre blood money cashing over there, and Southern Miss. This is this got to be one of the better games of the day, right? I mean, this both teams.
This is the best series of the weekend, in my opinion. But
yes.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. So UC Santa Barbara is plus 140 on the money line. Meanwhile, Southern Miss here, let me see because I can't read that. They're minus 180. The over/under is at 10. If you do like Southern Miss at minus 1.5 runs, they are plus 100 on DK. UC Santa Barbara at minus 130 for plus 1.5 runs. Bieniek, I'd love to know your thoughts here because I'm just going to bet this in spite by it being one of the better games.
This is a fantastic must-watch series. All three games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, should be, really fun watches. Santa Barbara is going to bring the pitching. That is for sure. They are one of the best pitching staffs west of the Mississippi in general. I'm counting teams like Texas. I'm counting teams like Arkansas. UC Santa Barbara competes with the teams up in that caliber. They were 11th in team ERA last season. They only lose one important arm from that year, and it was their ace, Tyler Bremner. However, the ace this year is Jackson Flora. This is a kid that can run his fastball up into the high 90s. He's got a 3,000 RPM breaking ball. The slider is just absolutely wicked. It's one of the best in the upcoming draft class, and to pair that with a premier fastball, it's a terrific 1-2 punch in the arsenal that should, give USM a real good challenge. I think this is one of the better lineups that Southern Miss has had in quite some time. However, I don't believe that they have the edge in pitching here. I think Barbara is deep. Once Flora comes out of this game, I do believe that they have the arms to back it up and possibly steal game one here. Southern Miss is, a fantastic baseball fan base. This place is going to be a rowdy atmosphere. It'll be great on television. The ballpark is naturally just a little bit darker than you may like. And I think it just plays even more through the television screen. Like I was talking about, give me UC Santa Barbara at plus 140. I think there's value here with one of the best mid-major aces in the country. Southern Miss is throwing Colby Allen, who has been a reliever for most of his career, hasn't made too many starts, if any, off the top of my head. And I like the experience that Barbara has. I think their lineup can compete with USM. I think that the Golden Eagles probably have a little bit better lineup and the home field advantage, but plus 140. Like, I came into this series thinking, hey, it would be pretty much a coin flip comparing the odds to each other. I'll side with the home team, but I don't feel super confident in it. Plus 140 has me all the way on to I'm betting the Gauchos here tomorrow, and I can't wait to watch this game.
Yeah, I actually have an interesting fact for this one, which I'm not going to play a side on this game because I do think I would play Santa Barbara just because of Flora and their pitching that they're going to have on this Friday night. And Colby Allen, like he said, has only made 5 starts in his career. Really nasty stuff, but just doesn't have a ton of experience starting, especially on Friday nights. But my fun fact for this one, you want to know how many times UC Santa Barbara played a baseball game outside of the state of California last year?
Woo-hoo.
Last year, probably.
They played 3,
Hawaii,
and they were
right?
all in Hawaii.
Yeah, okay.
They were all at Hawaii. So when you talk about Pete Taylor Park, this place is going to be absolutely rocking. One of the best atmospheres in college baseball, especially at the mid-major level. I don't know if these Gauchos, I am with Bieniek. I think they have a chance to make a run, but weekend 1 coming to the Pete, I don't know if they're going to be ready for all that. So I'm going to take Southern Miss to win the series here. I'm actually going to play under 10.5 in this game. I think it's just going to be a really clean, low-scoring, competitive Friday night game. So I did play under 10.5, but I'm not going to take a side in this one.
We talked about this on the 11.7 pod. That was a really good nugget from JP there, and it sparked my memory to the conversation. I believe it was in 2023. Santa Barbara opened up the season on the road at Campbell. The Gauchos absolutely kicked the shit out of the Campbells in game 1 in game 1 of the series. And then Campbell came back and shut them out in game 2 and game 3 combined. So really interesting, nugget from JP. And I'm rethinking it, but I'm still I'm siding with the value here on plus 140. Jackson Flores starting, the very solid bullpen behind him. And I think they had the lineup to somewhat compete and match Southern Miss's lineup tit for tat. So give me the Gauchos.
Also, I've kind of already decided, this is probably a poor strategy, but I've kind of already decided whoever loses this game tomorrow, I'm probably going to bet them to win Saturday because I'm hoping, maybe that's just me being optimistic, but I feel like this series is way too good to not go to a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a smart strategy there. Look, folks, before we get to the next game, I want to let you know that the college baseball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, which does have college baseball action. You got to get over there. Underdog has you covered for pick'em for almost every single sport there is. Get in on Underdog and win up to 5,000 times the amount of money you enter. And Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play $5, get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code. That is TCE SGPN. So do that and let it ride. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm has been on an absolute heater for college basketball and NBA right now. Super easy to sign up. Run predictions off the house model, or you can make your own and mess around with those sliders. If you're looking to go premium, use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm. That's RITHMM. Promo code SGPN25. All right, we are back. Just talked Santa Barbara and Southern Miss in one of the better matchups we think of this weekend.
Colby,
let's jump on.
Before we move on, I was slacking a little bit before the show. Underdog's got him up, baby. Underdog's got the player projections up. Here, JP dipped out for a quick second. He's back now. Underdog has player projections up. This is absolutely sick.
Dude,
so
can you text me some plays, or let's work it out right now? Can we work it out right now?
Yeah, that's
let's
what
go.
I was looking to do right now. We can pick out that first game of the day, the 9 a.m. start time in Puerto Rico with Wake Forest and Houston. Blake Morningstar for Wake Forest, first off, hell of a name, but he's their ace. 7.5 strikeouts seems a little low. I kind of like the higher there, just off the cuff. I'll probably have a video out tomorrow on Twitter with my favorite picks on.
Did you say 8.5?
7.5.
Oh, I was about to say, because I see 7.5. Okay.
Yeah. I think I like that. And then I'll take you to another higher on strikeouts. Give me Dax Whitney's higher than 6.5 strikeouts. I think Michigan's lineup's trash. I mean,
6.5?
Yeah,
higher
over
than
on
6.5
Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah, I would expect that to be at 8 or 9.
Yeah, I think that's a little low.
I'll be jumping on that.
You like anything else? I know Fennel's set at 9.5 strikeouts.
Yeah, I think that's a little high.
It's just with the lefties, I just don't know how. I don't know. I think he's going to pitch really well, but
what about Gackel? 7.5 strikeouts.
That could potentially be.
Maybe. The thing is, Gackel was really rough as a starting pitcher last year. And I just kind of want to see him do it before.
What about, is that Marin? Or am I mispronouncing that? Ryan Marone for NC State. He's playing in Washington. I don't know how much swing and miss is in Washington's lineup, but I know Marone doesn't, rack up strikeouts quite like an elite arm in the country. He is a good arm. I don't know if he's a slam dunk. Like the Morningstar and Whitney higher thens on the strikeouts, I think that's a slam dunk 1-2. Wait for a little bit more. Maybe some offensive player projections come out tomorrow. But if you're looking to, scratch the itch tonight with just put it in. Just put it in right now. Blake Morningstar, Dax Whitney. So Morningstar higher to 7.5 strikeouts. Dax Whitney.
The one that's a lock is Dax.
Dax
Whitney
is going over 6.5 is a lot.
He's going to finish alt line that.
He's
finishing with 10.
Can you bet that straight? Just one of them?
No, you gotta have a second one. You gotta have a second one, but
you gotta have multiple picks in it.
But let me tell you, I can tell you this, JP, as someone that does a lot of college football and college basketball, I think I really I know they're our sponsor, but I'm saying yes, if you know the sport well, I just hit the other night on college basketball but I mean I've had some really big payouts in football, especially you get to some of the smaller schools that they cover. You can really find an edge. So I would imagine college baseball very similar. So check out Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN. Dylan in the chat saying, is 8 a.m. too early to pour a glass to watch Puerto Rico first pitch? No, because you got to pretend like you're in Puerto Rico, which I guarantee you sobriety is not a strong suit of theirs. All right. So pretend like you're in Puerto Rico. Get some rum though. At least, theme the thing out, get some rum. Maybe some mojitos. I know that's more Cuban, but it can work. It can work there. All right, let's get to JP's boys, Cincinnati, the Bearcats. I like to spell them Cincinnati. They are in Jacksonville, Alabama, taking on Jack State. Now, Jacksonville State, I believe someone hopped in the chat in our very last episode that said Jack State will win the CUSA. Mark my words. Someone said that because I remember reading it.
Yeah.
They are +1. They're getting +1.5 runs there at -120, +130 on the money line. The over under at 11.5. Cincinnati on DK -166 on that money line. And if you want to lay the 1.5, it's -110. JP, your boys. Why should we load up, huh?
Yeah, Nate Taylor on a Friday night is all you need to know. And I guess not enough people know about him yet, but he's pretty much he's been, dominating for the past 2 years is a strong word, but he's continued to get better, and I expect him to take another jump here in year 3. To be honest, I expected this line to be a little bit heavier on Cincinnati. The 166 was a little fishy for me, but I honestly think it might just be a little bit of disrespect considering they're losing 2 draft picks and the Big 12 player of the year out of their lineup. But again, this Jack State team is no joke. They're definitely going to be solid, and they definitely have the weather advantage for preseason. The Bearcats were able to go down to Lake Point, Georgia last week and get 4 practices, 4 full days of inter squads in, which is good. I want to say the under here is around 11 or 12.5. I will say I would favor the under, but this Bearcats team has a
11 and a
tendency
half, I
to
see.
11 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is they're a really weird, they do play small ball, but if they get rolling, they have a tendency to rack up some runs. So I'm staying away from that. And Cincinnati will be a parlay piece to get me a little bit more juice than 166.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that last point that JP mentioned, it's just they turn opposing defenses into a house of cards. Once the first card falls, like once the first run gets scratched across, it's not by the power hitting most of the time. They can poke some out over the fence, but they just start piling them on. It's fascinating to watch. Teams collapse against their offense. But yeah, for Jacksonville State side, just to give a little bit of analysis here, we're expecting the southpaw Stephen Cash to start, or at least that's what has been put into the game notes and is usually correct from the team SID. And Stephen Cash began his college career at Louisiana, very solid college baseball program. He was a reliever there through 19 innings in both his freshman and sophomore years. His sophomore year, he had a 3.79 ERA out of the bullpen. Last year, he transferred into Jacksonville State and with a goal of being a starter. He made 16 starts. He threw one complete game, threw 86 total innings, had a 4.59 ERA. He's a guy that can go the distance here if Jacksonville State thinks they can steal one from Cincy. Last year, he held hitters to just a 225 batting average against. The year before, he held hitters to a 194. I'd be lying if I said I remember how this guy throws often, but there's probably a little bit of deception in this motion because he's only had 63 strikeouts in 86 innings last season. So I think he's more of a pitch-to-contact bat, which kind of plays into Cincinnati's offense's favor. But he does limit the hard contact very well. So I'm on Cincinnati in this game. I don't have extreme confidence, but I do think that they should be favored by a little bit more. If I was making this line, I'd probably have Cincinnati near like minus 190 personally.
Hey, no, in the chat, where are you looking right now? Because there's everything available on DK. Like, well, I'm curious where you're looking. I mean, I think if he's got to be on FanDuel, right? That's got to be the answer, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, I see a slew of games. I'm talking,
40.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying on DK. Yeah. And I think a lot of other books have a lot of great stuff out there too right now. We already talked Texas Tech, Oklahoma earlier fortnight, so go check that out a little bit, probably 20 minutes ago. Next up on the list here is anything else you guys want to say on this game?
Go Bearcats.
Yeah, let's go. Next up, the Troy Trojan men. They are heading to Macon, Georgia, to take on Mercer, the Bears. Bieniek, nice little mid-major matchup you put here. Border battle, to quote the great Patty C. Your thoughts? So Mercer is what plus 115 on the money line. Troy is minus 145. Let me see if this is all that. Yeah, the over under is at 12 runs. And if you wanted to lay the 1.5 with Troy, it is plus 100, whereas Mercer plus 1.5 is at minus 130. Your thoughts, Bieniek?
My favorite pick in this game would be that over 12. This is a very offensive park. And Troy, not the greatest pitching staff in the world, but I do believe that their offense is possibly the best in the Sun Belt Conference as a whole. And Mercer can swing it too. I think they'll be able to contribute to an over here as well. I think the Trojans have the inside track to winning this game. On the bump for Mercer is Garrett Lambert, and on the bump for Troy is Tommy Egan. Egan's not like an excellent arm. He threw 51 innings, started 9 games last year, struck out 43. He throws strikes, only had 19 walks in 50 innings. But he can be hit. This is a UIC transfer coming in to Troy for this upcoming season. He's earned the Friday night role. This is a guy that I kind of want to wait and see on before I bet Troy to win a road game on opening day. But if anything, I think my favorite side or pick in this game is the over. JP, how about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you here, not to just repeat what you said. You got two pitchers that you can't really have a whole lot of confidence in. Hitters Park. And honestly, if you can see the chat blowing up here, this is exactly what kind of kept me off of this. I've seen everyone on Troy and everyone slamming Troy. And I don't know. It just feels like kind of this one of the, and I could be totally wrong. Troy might win by 5 runs, but I'm gonna stay away here. Should be another really good mid-major 3-game series that you'll be able to watch all weekend though.
All righty. Next up, let's jump on over to the Irish. They are in Boca Raton. Notre Dame laying 135, taking on Florida Atlantic. The Owls, who are plus 105 on that money line there. Let me see if I can grab. So the over under at 12.5 at minus 115 either way. And the if you're jumping on the Irish at minus 1.5, it is plus 110 on DK. Florida Atlantic at plus 1.5 though is at minus 140. Bieniek, your thoughts on this ACC and American matchup?
Yeah, I think it's a solid matchup between two teams that are pretty evenly matched. This is rightfully, I think, pretty close to a coin flip. Small home dog here in FAU, and it's something that I would be a little bit interested in if it wasn't for Jack Riddell maybe having a little bit better of a proven track record. James Littman's not a bad Friday night starter. He's definitely serviceable. Last year, he was all conference as the all freshman team in the AAC. He had 15 starts last year, had a 5.04 ERA, struck out a little bit less than innings pitched. And I just think that the Notre Dame lineup may be able to knock him around just enough to get them across the edge. Again, I don't have a ton of conviction in this pick. If anything, I'd be taking the Fighting Irish here and a little bit of the under, but I think my favorite pick would be the minus 135 with Notre Dame. JP, your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, my initial thoughts here would be playing FAU and the weather advantage early, 100%. With that being said, I am a little bit bullish on Jack Riddell on the mound for the Irish. And if you remember from last year, this Irish team took a 2-week trip down to Florida, and I believe went like 7-2. So that kind of scared me away from the weather tactics and also solid wins. Let me pull it up here. They beat Stetson, Iowa, won a series against North Florida. So not all cupcakes there. I'm gonna stay away from this one. If I had to choose, I'd probably still ride with my Owls here.
Yeah. I mean, the chat's cracking me up here with the Father Whale in the chat. Well, I mean, if we must, Notre Dame spending time in South Florida. Father Whale saying,
the first time I ever saw your dick, I had never seen anything so big and thick.
yeah, look, I'm all over the Owls here. They've been down there. Now, I am a little scared off. I'm not going to bet this because of what you just threw out there on Notre Dame and their success that they're having last season in Florida. So I'm going to stay away from this one, but intrigued to watch it. Next up, we have the Illini. They're in Tampa, Florida. Take it on the Bulls. You fuck with the Bulls, you get the horns, right, Bieniek? Because South Florida's laying where they're minus 120 on the money line. The Illini are sitting there at minus 1. Wait, I'm not seeing this. I don't think this slide is correct. What I see on DK, South Florida minus 120, Illinois minus 110. The over under at 12.5 and minus 1.5 for South Florida at plus 135. You think they can do some damage to the Illini? The Illini plus 1.5 at minus 175 according to DK. Bieniek, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the slide was right. And actually, JP, would you mind leading off as I do a little bit more digging on USF starter?
Yeah,
Alisea.
I can't remember which conference preview we were talking about it, but Noah talked about some of these early game overs of these northern teams flying down south that are trapped inside, hitting indoors all winter. And this game just screamed that to me. I also got a good buddy, Kyle Shootman, the third baseman for the Fighting Illini. I think they got a lot of boppers in that lineup. This one for me would be the over 12.5. Give me some warm weather in Florida. Get those Illinois boys down there. Get those bats heated up a little bit. Give me the over.
Juan Correa, who transferred in from Appalachian State, who I got to catch live up in Boone last year, 16 homers last season coming in. Maybe he can give you the first of the year for the Bulls. Bieniek, you were looking up something, but I'm curious. Are you going to rep your Big Ten here? We joke around on the basketball and football show that you're Noah Petiti, son of Tony Petiti, with your Big Ten love. Can you bet? You already faded Iowa.
Already faded Michigan too.
Oh my gosh! Yes, the Illini in Tampa. What are you doing here?
So Edwin Alisea is the projected, or he's going to start this game here tomorrow for South Florida. Now he's a D2 arm, formerly of Nova Southeastern. They play in a really good league. However, he didn't really excel at the level. He had a 273 batting average against, only struck out 54 in 54 innings with a 4.83 ERA. The year prior, he really didn't throw much at all at Nova Southeastern, just 14 innings as a freshman. So this was my analysis coming into this game. I think the storyline in this matchup is in the coaching. Mitch Hannes is an incredible coach for USF, formerly the Indiana State coach. And they would do a lot of damage in these non-con matchups and really boost up their RPI. Last year we saw it. Iowa came down to Tampa and got their butts kicked in the 3-game series. I believe they were swept. And Iowa was a solid team last year. They were second. They were third in the Big Ten. They were leading the Big Ten throughout like the first 8 weeks of conference play, and then choked it away. But that was a super solid series win for USF in the first or second week of the Hannes era. And I think that he's got this program and headed in the right trajectory. But I'm not necessarily sold on Alisea on paper. Now, Illinois' pitching staff over the past couple of years has not been very solid either, but they bring in Western Kentucky's pitching coach from last season who had the Hilltoppers as a top 10 pitching staff according to ERA. So I think that they could take a little bit of a step up. Ben Plumlee's not an excellent arm, but he's a serviceable power conference arm that I think maybe gives Illinois the edge in the first half of this game. And I do believe in the Illinois offense much more than USF. So I think the Fighting Illini will be my pick here to get across the finish line with a win, -110. Not super confident in it, but I kind of like JP's overplay there. That will probably be my favorite pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Noah Petiti. All right. Next up, we jump over to the Jayhawks. Rock Chalk. They're heading down to take on the Mexicans. Viva the Revolution! Right? In Edinburgh, Texas. I'm currently seeing Kansas at -175 and the UT Rio Grande.
Vaqueros.
Yes, but I was struggling to remember what the hell their real mascot was. They're +135 on the money line. The over under at 12. I mean, I know we didn't talk UTRVG. But
yeah, there was no Southland betting odds for it to come up, but yeah, go ahead.
No, but I'm saying we certainly talked up the kids' Jayhawks. The first thing, am I crazy, guys? So the over under's at 12. So the first thing that would jump out to me would be like, we got to hammer this over, right?
I'm just going to take Kansas personally in a parlay at -175. I think the odds there, it's another one that's a little bit disrespectful, especially with how much experience their Friday night guy has. And I know there's at least 2 or 3 guys. I know there's new pieces to the lineup, but there's 2 or 3 really good bats that you can count on and be ready to go tomorrow. So I'm going with the Jayhawks.
I think I like Colby's look a little bit more in this one. I think UTRGV is dangerous. I think you go down to the border and you may not come back. The Vaqueros, I think their lineup is pretty solid. They return. I mean, last year they split for the regular season championship with Southeastern.
Don't drink the water.
Yeah, I don't drink water very, very much anywhere. It just gives me the shits. Just goes right through me for
water. In Mexico, the water does give you the
man.
shits. I can verify that. But just anytime, no water. I don't do water.
Yeah, I mean, Rio Grande returns the core of last year's very good lineup, and it's headlined by the Player of the Year last year in Armani Regoza, who hit 389 with 17 homers and a 1,200 OPS. In total, I think there's like 6 position players coming back in this offense. And Sergio Lopez is going to be on the mound for this game, was a stud reliever last year for McNeese in the Southland Conference. He had a 289 ERA in 15 appearances through 53 innings, 51 strikeouts, 16 walks. I think he's serviceable, but again, we'll see how he does with the Friday night starter label slapped across him. Colby, I love the look. I'm going to end up locking it up with you. Give me the over in this matchup. I think the Jayhawks and the Vaqueros do a whole lot of damage offensively in this one on Friday night.
There we go. Great minds think alike here. I might even jump on JP's side too. I might just have a big old party here at the border. All right. Next up, let's jump on over to the likes of my preseason national champ, the Arkansas Razorbacks, the year after the year. Yeah, I think I forgot to clarify that on last episode. I had some people slid into the DMs, said, "Did you even pick a Natty winner?" I was like, I thought I said that. I said the year after the year, but I guess I didn't say they win it all. Arkansas is in Globe Life Field there, where Bieniek will be sleeping tonight, taking on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's plus 170 on the money line. Arkansas at minus 220. What is this over under? Let me see if I can find this real quick. Where the hell is this? I'm not seeing it right now. 11 and a half. 11 and a half is the over under. Yeah, I mean, minus 220 is not something I really love to play here.
Yeah, but this was that one game where the odds are a little bit larger than we'd like to talk about on the show, but it's such a solid game. Both fan bases are going to show up and show out. Arkansas specifically is probably, I think, going to be the most, the biggest fan base in person here in Arlington, for lack of a better phrase to put it. And yeah, I think this is going to be Hog Nation. They'll call the Hogs a couple of times here,
but you can't bet Arkansas minus 220. You got to, if you're going to play this straight up, you got to take Oklahoma State, right? I mean, like this minus 220 Arkansas. Are you going to lay? Are you going to lay the 2.5 at minus 110 with the Razorbacks?
So here's my angle again. I'll take you to another under here in Globe Life Field. Arkansas's pitching staff is fantastic. Even if we hinted at it earlier in the show during the underdog portion, Gabe Gackle has not been excellent in his career yet as a starting pitcher. I'm super high on the talent and the prospect that he is. Last year I got burned though. This is a guy who has a high 90s fastball, 3 off-speed pitches that all draw elite whiff and chase percentages. And he's just got an excellent arsenal and a starter's arsenal, but he's been more effective out of the bullpen throughout his career. So a lot of pressure on the opening night start on Friday night against Oklahoma State. Both offenses, I think, are retooling a little bit. Last year or coming into this season, Oklahoma State is without their superstar Nolan Schubert. Arkansas completely retooling the offense. They lose Golden Spikes winner, their shortstop, Vahiva Lloyd. They lose all 3 outfielders from last year's starting lineup. So I think there's just enough weak spots in both offenses. The pitching staffs are totally fresh. They'll be able to throw quite a bit of arms here to keep the offenses at bay. Give me the under in this matchup, under 11.5. Even if Gackle doesn't go all right, I still believe in that Arkansas bullpen to come in and be nails. So Oklahoma's starting pitcher, I'm also relatively high on Hudson Barrett. How about you, JP?
Yeah, I think I'm somewhat high on Oklahoma State this year. I don't know if that's because I want them to be good or if I actually think they're going to be good. I think you have to go with Arkansas if you want to pick a side here. I would go the best bet, in my opinion, is probably the under 11.5. But then again, Gabe Gackle, his starting pitching experience is enough to keep me away. And if you remember, a lot of people were high on the Oklahoma State starting pitching last year. And I believe, was it the Clemson game that there were maybe like 15 or 16 runs scored in that game?
Yeah.
I think Clemson scored like 13, and I remember taking the under in that game. So that's enough to keep me away. This is one that I'm actually going to be biting my teeth, having no action on, just hoping to watch a good baseball game.
No, I'm getting in. Give me the under. Lock it up. Let's go.
There we go. Bieniek, lock it up, that under, which I currently see once again on DK at 11.5. So jump in. Next up, the Stanford Cardinal in surprise Arizona. Where the hell is that, by the way?
Metro Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
It's a
spring training
spring
park,
training,
right?
so.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Stanford's catching 124 on the money line there. The Arizona Wildcats, who David Matola, I'm just contract. I have to play this song.
Cats, W-I-L-D, Wildcats, W-I-L-D.
Great song. Minus 160 on the money line there, and this over under is at just dead even 12 right now on DK. We previewed both these teams. I felt like we were somewhat. I can't remember Stanford, if we were high on Stanford or not. I thought we were like.
We were
optimistic.
little optimistic about a comeback, bounce back year.
But any chance they could be live dogs here? This will be, I would imagine, a full-on Arizona Wildcat crowd. Bieniek, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're right in the aspect of that. I think Stanford fans don't travel. Like, Stanford fans? What? But yes, it should be an Arizona crowd if it's any crowd. In this one, we've got projected starters of Owen Kramkowski for Arizona. Super solid. He's super consistent. You know what you're getting out of Cram. And then for Stanford, it's Nick Dugan. And I think he's the storyline for this game that we have to talk about. With Stanford being a short dog, he's catching a little bit of respect in the market. He's a senior starter for the upcoming season. Last year, he made 8 starts, 45 innings thrown. He had 39 strikeouts. He was dealing with a little bit of a back issue, but it was his best season of his career. Previously, the previous 2 seasons, he was more of a spot starter, long reliever type of role at Stanford. But David Esker, I believe he's an excellent coach, first off. But secondly, he does really good at retaining some of his arms, and the pitching staff over the years has been very solid, and it's been led oftentimes by some seniors. And I think Nick Dugan could be the next one in line. That would be a huge step up. I'm not necessarily projecting it. I think he's going to be more of what he was last year, which he was 6-0, and he gave the team a chance to win every single time that he took the bump. So I think that's why you're seeing Stanford at just plus 124, as Arizona's completely rebuilding their lineup, as they lost almost every piece on offense from that College World Series team last year. So I think that Arizona is probably catching a little bit of public money here. I don't necessarily disagree with it. I think their pitching is strong enough to be able to hold Stanford down. I'm just going to say that the under in this matchup at 12 should be hammered. This should be around 10. That's a lock for me.
Yeah, this is probably my second favorite play of the day. Was the under 12.5. This jumped out right when I saw it. Really like both of these arms. You talked about Kramkowski. I think he has the ability to shove it and go as deep as he possibly can into this game. And you just talked about it favoring Arizona, which I do, but they're also retooling that lineup, and I think it's going to take a little bit to get the pieces together potentially. So I'm all over the under 12.5. I think I would side with Arizona, but the fact that I like the under that much, I'm not even going to touch a side here and just go all on under 12.5.
All right, there we go. There's people asking questions that I'm going to try to hang on to for the end of the show here.
Put like a star in it.
Yeah.
And we'll throw it down the side. There you go.
Because there's a couple other ones I got to go look in a second. But final game here in the Desert Invitational there, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who I know JP, I'm just assuming that he's going to load up on these Cornhuskers for his first Big Ten play of the day as they are taking on the Yukon Huskies.
Fade the Big Ten, and he's got a Big Ten team in Omaha.
Yeah, so I mean, I know what Ty Horn is pitching there for the Cornhuskers, but the over under currently at 12.5. Yukon Huskies minus 110 plus plus 1.5 runs there at minus 145. So not a lot of love there. Nebraska minus 120, also minus 1.5 at plus 115. If you think they can do it, Bieniek, your thoughts on this matchup?
Let's go JP first. I want to know what.
But I don't need Petitti's take here. Look, JP, what are you doing here in the Desert Invitation?
I mean, to be honest, this game really scares me because I was super bullish on Nebraska last year, and they had a really shaky start to their season. So it really scares me. But I threw this team in Omaha for a reason.
They were
and I
in
gotta
the same
have
tournament last
They were
year
in the
too.
same
Sorry.
tournament. Yeah, and they actually had one decent game, didn't they? Or did they really
beat
have
Vandy.
They beat Vandy, and then screw it. Yeah, give me Nebraska. They did beat Vandy. Give me Nebraska.
There we go.
Twist the arm. The other thing too that you didn't touch on, and I know I interrupted you, which I probably shouldn't have, but Nebraska's fans are going to travel. Like that's the biggest strength of this Cornhuskers
Well, no,
team.
actually, let me tell you something.
Do they have basketball tomorrow?
No. I like one of the underrated things about the desert, from my experiences, whether Arizona or whether Vegas, a bunch of Nebraska and Midwest people, like I find Nebraska and Iowa fans are everywhere through the desert. I'm serious. Like I got a buddy that owns a couple different bars.
Yeah.
In the Vegas and Arizona area. So he's bought like 4 or 5 different bars. Damn if half of those bars were Nebraska fan bars. Like what he inherited every Saturday, you got to put these Nebraskans are expecting to come there and watch their team, right? And I know this because so I would go there to get free drinks and pretend like I'm somebody, right? And and then I was then told that by the Nebraska fans that there's a bunch of Midwest, like they've told me that they roll deep in Vegas and I think this like Phoenix area, and they told me also that Iowa fans, there's a bunch of Iowa bars too. So it's something about the desert that attracts them. But I think they will have a good turnout there.
1,000%. I just looked it up while you were talking there. Talking Stick holds 11,000 fans. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be a sellout, but I do think that it'll probably be 6,500 Cornhuskers all in the lower bowl behind the plate. This will be a Nebraska crowd, 1,000% the entire weekend. With that said, I think Charlie West is a legitimate starter and a possible ace in the Big East this year. Last year, he came on super strong, wasn't even in the starting rotation opening weekend, but just emerged as a true ace potential. Last year, he had a 258 ERA, 6-0 record. He started 8 games down the stretch of the season, threw 52.1 innings, had 59 strikeouts. His stuff is elite, but he needs to work a little bit on throwing strikes. He walked a little bit too many for my liking, 34 and 52.1 innings, but he held opponents to 162 batting average against. He's got 4 good pitches, and I think that he'll be able to kind of manipulate and maneuver around the Nebraska lineup enough to keep him down for a handful of innings, 4 or 5. I don't know how deep this UConn pitching staff is this year. I think that the Huskies are a little bit down compared to past years. Overall, this is a really scary game for me to jump on any side or total. Give me Nebraska at -120 as my pick here. I think the home crowd that will be in Arizona, no doubt, lifts the team up in a thriller late innings, 8th, 9th. Give me some magic. Cornhuskers win it.
There's Noah Petiti. All right. So that is our slate of covering the 15 games that Bieniek picked there. Was it 14? Might have been 14.
14. Yeah.
But now let's jump on over to the 11.7 Pick'em and Survivor. Please explain this. If there's a lot of people in the chat that I do think are new like me. I've seen many comments now that saying I'm in. I haven't bet college baseball much, but let me jump in and see what it's like this year. So your thoughts on explaining. Well, first just explain what we're looking at here.
So this is the 11.7 Pick'em contest and Survivor contest. This is the 4th year running. Now I know everybody's going to be like, "Oh, this is a shameless plug for Noah and his other brand that he works with in college baseball." No, this thing existed before I even jumped on with these guys. The first year they teamed up with Circa Sports and they ran this college baseball pick'em contest. The winner got an all expense, trip to Omaha it was all expense trip to Las Vegas during the College World Series, and it was free stay in a hotel. Circa pool deck, like watching the games out there. Circa Swim is what it's called, I believe. And yeah, you got a booth inside the sports book. Like, it was fantastic, and it was first class all the way around, as Circa tends to do it over there, led by Derek Stevens, one of our good buddies. The second year, 11.7 said, you know what? Let's send the winner, because we also wanted to go to Omaha too. So we're like, let's send our winner to Omaha. So we teamed up with Home Field Apparel is what it's called. It's basically vintage college sports gear. So it's right up Colby's alley. That's prize packs every single week for the pick'em. If you go 6-0, you're entered in a raffle. One lucky winner of the 6-0 group for the given week will earn or win a prize pack from Home Field Apparel. The tally.
Let me just tell you something.
Go ahead.
That place is awesome. If you haven't checked out Home Field Apparel,
yeah,
I mean, it's like I woke up in 1988 again. Right? It is, and they it's not like used shit. They are remaking so much cool stuff. I mean, I can't recommend that site enough. If you're a big sports fan, jump over there. They have everything, even like the alt styles of your teams. Like if you're looking for the whatever it is. I'm a Baltimore Oriole fan. The old school throwbacks, they got that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're someone like me who loves like throwback logos and those older logos, and you've never been able to find it on like a new piece of apparel, that's your spot, because it's full of it. They got a bunch of good stuff over there.
Yeah. Highly recommend that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I really am a big fan of their work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every single week there's 6 new series that populate on the website over at 11.7.com. It's $11.70 to sign up and join, $11.70 to compete in this. So it's a pick'em contest. You pick 6 the results you're predicting of the best 6 series, or the best coin flip series that we think are going to be closely contested each and every week. You pick the winners of it. The tally increases throughout the entire season. There's a running leaderboard that is on the website. Dimitri's done an incredible job kind of revamping the look of it. I think it looks fantastic this year. It'll be live updated, live scoring, instead of him having to do it all manually. So we've kind of gone all in on it, and it's really cool. Like I said, if you go 6-0 in a week, you're entered in a raffle to win a Home Field Apparel prize. Dylan Nielsen, we met him out there in Omaha last year. He won the Survivor contest with it. And yeah, it's a bunch of fun. And yeah, we've been doing this on the at the end of the show for 4 straight years now. So it hasn't changed. And I think it's the best 6 series in college baseball, and we should be talking about them. So we can pick them real quick. We already talked a little bit about Friday's game in UC Santa Barbara, Southern Miss. These are my picks and what I've had highlighted here. Typically in the 11.7 pick'em contest, with all of these games and series being such coin flip 50-50 toss-up games and series, home teams typically have really good winning percentages, and that's what I have when all doubts, I typically take the home team as like a tiebreaker for myself. I'm super high on UC Santa Barbara, and like I said, I kind of expected the Friday night odds to come out close to even, but I'm betting the plus 140 on Barbara. I think there's plenty of value, but if it was minus 110, minus 115, I'd be on Southern Miss, and that's why I'm taking them to win 2 of 3 in the series here.
So the white highlighted is you, correct?
No, the
colors
are my picks.
Okay. I could have swore you took Illinois though, right?
Yep. I took Illinois in game 1, and I actually probably talked myself out of that pick. I think I'll switch to Illinois after the show.
I was wondering. I was like, wait, it's going against what you said then. Okay.
I did bet Barbara in game 1, and I will stick to the Southern Miss series pick because Pete Taylor's fantastic home atmosphere. I think they still have a chance to win 2 games out of 3, even though I'm betting the Gauchos in game 1. How about you, Colby? Santa Barbara, Southern Miss. Who's your pick in the series?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Southern Miss. JP's nugget of them only leaving California and going to Hawaii.
Already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're locked in on this thing here. They got to cross the Mississippi River. They ain't ever seen shit. I mean, look, there's a reason why this clip is a thing ongoing. That's been going viral on the internet for about 30 years.
I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck, I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out of this country, mother.
That's what these Gauchos are going to feel when they hit Hattiesburg, which I'm sure they're not flying direct, by the way. Right? When are they going into Memphis and catching a bus?
Yeah,
right?
They got a bus ride. They
New
got
Orleans or something. Yeah, maybe New Orleans and catching a bus. So give me the Brett Favre blood money, man. You know, this program's look. They were my number 1 lock in football over 4.5 wins. That thing cruised as they won 7. So yeah, this anytime a program's doing some dirty shit, right? Like historically, I want to be on the right side of betting that. All right, so that's my angle there. JP, what are you doing in for the series with Santa Barbara and Southern Miss?
Yeah, you said it best. This bet is literally on Pete Taylor Park in the people of Hattiesburg. So if you're a Golden Eagles fan, show up and show out. Because I'm rocking with Southern Miss this weekend.
Yeah. So then Bieniek, it jumps over to you for what the Troy Mercer series there. Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong. So you're on Troy here because it's highlighted, right? The only one that switched would be okay.
That is correct. I'm on Troy here. We talked about this Friday night game as well. I think it's going to be a very offensive series due to the park kind of lending itself to high-scoring games. I don't think either pitching staff is necessarily elite. I think Troy's offense is fantastic. Give me the Trojans to go on the road into Macon and win 2 of 3 at least.
I don't have a great feeling about this one, to tell you the truth. No. I'm just going to listen to the expert here and Bieniek there, who's sleeping in a baseball stadium tonight. So I'll take Troy. This is one where when we were reciting this stuff and going through and looking at this, I feel like I'm flying a little blind. JP, what are you doing here?
Yeah, this one scares me too, but this is more for me just a play off of Troy last year and how much success they had, and Noah talked about their lineup. So I'm going to go with the Trojans here.
All right. Next up, Missouri State, Louisiana. These raging Cajuns. Bieniek, you're on the Bears of Missouri State. We did highlight them on the previous episode where they are looking pretty
value at 17-1 in the Conference USA.
There you go, and go check out. It's not too late to check out that episode, folks. Jump over there, College Baseball Experience. Yeah. So I mean, we all kind of bought into Missouri State there. So yeah, I hate to piggyback your
Yeah.
play, but that's what we're doing here. JP, yeah,
Totally fair. The Teague in Louisiana is a fantastic home atmosphere. This is definitely a danger zone for sure, but I don't think like the boys from Springfield, Missouri are going to be too out of place. And I know their lineup can bash. Louisiana kind of retooling it a little bit, so that's why I went Bears. But this is definitely, I mean, all 6 of these are toss-up series, but this is one that I don't feel super great about. So.
Yeah, I think Missouri State, I'm higher on them as a team, and I think they're going to be the better team. But give me the Raging Cajuns, man. I mean, these people of Louisiana, trust me, and I know you've seen LSU tailgates, but if you've never seen a Louisiana baseball tailgate, they get after it down there. And these people have been itching to get out, get a seafood boil going, and get out there in the outfield. So give me the Cajuns at home.
You don't need to convince me on. I still believe Louisiana is the strongest drinking state. I've been to many LSU tailgates, and I saw a guy walking down the street hammered punch a horse that a police officer was riding in New Orleans. Punch him right in the face, and he got arrested. But the horse not fazed at all. Right, so the horse took just a haymaker to the face. Not phased at all. But I was very impressed with the level of drunkenness every time. I've been there like 20 times. So, I mean, each time it breaks records in my opinion. And yeah, a horse is better than humans when it comes to taking punches. Cal Poly at Campbell and Bowie's Creek here. Damn, I should probably go to this game, but I'm already committed to the Carolina game. The Mustangs is Bieniek's pick here with that John Madden money. What did they when he died? I feel like John Madden's an alum from Cal Poly. I think they gave his family if memory serves me correct, something like $30 million to their athletic department. So hey, there you go. Cal Poly. Maybe it's bleeding into baseball. Bieniek, you're taking Cal Poly. Not so fast. You're going cross country against these Camels. No. Give me these Camels to get it done here. But sell me on why you're on Cal Poly.
Yeah, I feel a little bit better about Cal Poly entering the year, and that's why I'm on them in this spot. Talked about them a lot on last episode, actually, so I won't go too in depth on it. But they returned their entire weekend rotation. The Sunday starter actually went down due to TJ in the offseason, but they bring in Leif Palmer, an Oregon State transfer, who will fill in that weekend rotation spot. I don't think he's going to skip a beat for Cal Poly, who had the best batting average in the Big West last year, a very solid baseball conference. I think they're good enough to go on the road and win the series in Bowie's Creek.
Do you think no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm a moron. I thought for a second that Santa Barbara was in North Carolina, and I was wondering if them and Cal Poly might have shared travel. But no, that's actually San Diego, the Toreros. Yeah, I just think that's a lot to ask. I mean, look, I know I took the Toreros, but Campbell, I think keeps a solid program there. A little underrated there. JP, what are you doing in that matchup?
I think this is a little bit of a scary spot for the Mustangs, but like Noah, I'm a bit higher on them than I am on Campbell. We will see how those California boys, we'll see what they think about good old Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. But
I've been there. You've been there too, right? Because you're at Elon, right? Yeah, I've been there.
Give me, I know I took the home team in this last matchup, so give me the Mustangs to take this one.
All right, there we go. I had to differ with you guys. I was just gonna something just in case. I told you I'm taking San Diego to beat Charlotte. San Diego, these Toreros are undervalued by you guys, right? They got a beautiful stadium looking over the Pacific. I've been Google imaging this shit for a while now. Yeah, these Toreros are going to take down the Clit. Bieniek in this series. It's not too late to switch. You already did it with your little hey Petiti. You already did it with Illinois.
Yeah.
Let me sell you on these Toreros. So they're going to get it done.
No, not quite going to flip there, unfortunately for you. This next series, though, San Diego, Charlotte, I think that San Diego is in a little bit of a retooling / rebuilding phase as well. We talked about this series a little bit ago. I feel so much better about where Charlotte's currently at than San Diego. Talked about the 49ers a bunch. I think they are my dark horse to win the American. They return a bunch of the offense last year. I think they've got a really solid Friday night starter. I think they've got a high ceiling arm on Saturdays going, and Drew Munn, who's a Central Connecticut State transfer. They were an NCAA tournament team last year. He has a fastball in the high 90s. I think they've got a solid pen. Rob Woodard's always a really good pitching coach. In the Survivor contest, I always really take home teams because the home teams win at like a 65-70% clip in this contest. I want a home team that I feel pretty good about. Give me Charlotte as my Survivor. Charlotte to win the series against the Toreros here at home.
He's about to take 4 road teams.
What could go wrong? Right?
If he makes that switch.
Yeah. What could go wrong, buddy? What could go wrong? JP, what are you doing in this for the series? Are you still gonna? I know you took the Toreros game 1 with me.
Yeah, I'm waving the flag with the Toreros. I took it Friday.
Let's go.
We'll get him to take the series.
Go the distance. Bieniek, here's your chance. You could rethink. You could rethink your ink. I know you're sitting. I know right now you're sitting there. The janitor's probably right outside, right 10 feet away from you, saying, "Dude, please, can you wrap up and get the fuck out of here?" Yes. But yeah, you're going on the Illini. You're sold, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna end up flipping here. I'll pull Benedict Arnold on this. On the 11.7 show, I picked USF because I love Mitch Hannes as a coach, but I think I got flipped to the Illinois side of things. Just talking myself through it, I like Illinois' offense much better than USF's currently constructed. Entering week 1 of the college baseball season. I don't love Illinois' pitching staff, and I think that the Bulls will be able to kind of maneuver their way around it. But them adding the new pitching coach for the Fighting Illini gives me just enough courage to take the road team here and call me Big Ten Petiti or whatever, but I'll take the Fighting Illini here against the Bulls.
Unbelievable. He's on. I can't wait. To watch this. JP, I'm on South Florida. These boys from the Big Ten ain't going down to Tampa. We got the season ticket holder in the chat here. Has been a shout out to Joseph. Has been a bowl season ticket baseball owner or holder, I should say, since 2008. Yeah, they're gonna get their shit pushed in here. So what are you doing here, JP, in this matchup?
I'm going with the Illini in that offense. I mentioned I got a good buddy who's the third baseman, Kyle Shootman. He's a former Bearcat, so I'm pulling for him in the Illini.
There we go. Shout out to the great Brian Sanders in the chat. Is this the appropriate time to hit these questions? Because there's a bunch in here, right? So B God 29 is saying, so the Survivor is picking series, not games. Yes. We hit. I don't know if you were here earlier, but the games reflecting the actual lines we did prior to this. And Dylan saying San Diego was without their shortstop for violating team rules.
It means they're probably doing something right.
Yeah,
that makes me like the Toreros even more.
I told you about this. Crime pays. All right. You think he was doing that alone? You're telling me it wasn't a buddy on the team that was part of that shit when they were doing whatever they were doing? Guarantee you.
Yeah. Come on.
I know how this works. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Look up all that. You think those comparing it to Georgia football, how many arrests they had in that national championship run they had for a couple years there? It's like 70 arrests, right?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, we're loading up here. Praj here. I'm sorry if I'm fucking up your name. But can you guys go over the Wake Forest 9 a.m. game? He's thinking about the -1.5
in our cards section where we're giving out the games and plays that we're betting. So
okay, Hezekiah here saying, would you take the Arizona game at 12 instead of 12.5 for the over under there?
I would.
Yeah,
the under 12.5 is like my favorite pick, one of my favorite picks of the day. I think that's one of my favorite locks.
Okay, now let's talk to Papa John's 1411. Shout out to him. Maryland is the dog of the day, he says. We didn't address this Maryland game, but it's my mother's alma mater, so I feel like we need to address it. Bieniek, I know your answer because you're Noah Petiti, but Maryland's taking on UNC Wilmington. They're
on
plus
the road.
They're plus 135 on the money line. Do you think that is accurate?
I think it's a good value pick, 1,000%. Maryland usually is able to hit super well. I don't think that their pitching staff's going to be great this year. It's a team that I kind of want to wait and see and then react throughout the year, because I've been somewhat bullish on Maryland because they have really good program pedigree in the Big Ten. Prior to all the Pac-12 teams joining the league, the Terps ran it, and now the last couple of years I've kind of eaten shit, being a little bit bullish on them in the preseason. So they're kind of in a wait-and-see bucket for me right now after losing their ace too. So,
how about you, JP? You buying the Terps as live dogs there in Wilmington?
I'm not. As a former CAA guy myself, I have a lot of respect for the Seahawks of UNC Wilmington. I remember them hosting the Georgia Bulldogs last year at the beginning of the year, and they competed their ass off with them, who was a very solid team last year. I mean, I definitely think this is. I'm not saying UNCW is a lock here, but definitely one where I wouldn't be taking Maryland here.
Colby, I will sell you on betting this game. I don't know what side it's going to make you pick, but I believe that you're going to end up locking one side or the other in this. I'm just trying to confirm who is throwing. I'm pulling up the team's game notes right now for who's slated in this game.
I just got a Mason, Ohio shout out. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
So the probable starter, the Friday night starter for Maryland this year is Lance Williams, former East Carolina Pirate.
Yeah. I know he was a beast too.
Last year he was very solid in 40 innings, had 47 strikeouts. So I don't know. Does that make you bet
Wilmington
or
all day? Because look, I know a trader.
Shit.
I know a trader when I see one. All right. And it's going to be all fun and games. You're going to wish you were at ECU when Mr. Beast gives us $100 million for our athletic department. All right. You can say, why the hell am I in College Park? No one gives a shit about baseball. You're at the Jungle. Like, I understand their history, but it's not like those games are packed there at College Park. So yeah, Wilmington all day there. SD Max saying, will these picks be on the page at SGPN? Yes.
That's the hope.
Yes.
That is the hope.
I see it right now, Bieniek.
On Tally site, they're offering them?
Yes.
Perfect. So yeah,
we got to get JP on there, man. Then we have Dundee are the Pirates busting out the brooms opening weekend. JP, I know you're a Cincinnati guy, a Bearcat. Fuck Xavier. So you got to join me on this. That ECU is going to just beat the tar out of these Musketeers
that you have started.
Hey, I respect Xavier. There is no team that I like rooting against more than the Xavier Musketeers. I do want to hold off a little bit. East Carolina is included in my play of the day when we get to our cards.
How many is this the last comment, Cole?
That is. All
right, let's jump into it. Give it away, JP.
You want me to go through my full card?
Yeah, and if you want to start with that, whatever you just said your play of the day was.
Okay, yeah. So I got two plays of the day, which this has been my method of I'll play these like 2 to 3 units and everything else is 1 unit. First one being East Carolina and Oregon State parlayed together at -125. You're talking about Ethan Norby at home in the Jungle, one of the best atmospheres in college baseball. In Dax Whitney against a subpar Michigan lineup.
It's a poor lineup. You can be straight up.
I said I liked betting on pitchers that I know and trust, and these are the two that I'm looking to go after tomorrow. So that will be one of my plays of the day. My second play of the day is Arizona and Stanford under 12.5. We already touched on that. For the rest of my picks, I have Kentucky and Wake Forest together. Kentucky is taking on UNC Greensboro. I know Noah's very high on Kentucky. I'm really high on their pitching. I just expect for them to go down there and win that game. And then Wake Forest against Houston at 7:38 a.m. my time. Had to have some action on that. I trust Blake Morningstar as a starting pitcher, so I'm rolling with the Deeks there. The following bet is Florida and Cincinnati parlayed. The odds on that were minus 109. We talked about the Cincy matchup, not going to go against my Bearcats. And I honestly forget who Florida even plays now that I'm talking about it. UAB. Very respectable program, respectable team. Liam Peterson, Friday night. Give me the Gators.
Gators
And
win
then-
for Soley, who's suspended, by the way, too.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. Yeah.
And the final three games, I have the TCU money line. I have the UC Santa Barbara and Southern Miss under 10.5, and the Vanderbilt TCU under 10.5. So that rounds it out.
There we go.
Yeah, that East Carolina pick, Colby, makes a ton of sense. You're getting your Pirates, and you're also fading his arch nemesis, so why not?
Well, I think what you're trying to say is
because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
Bieniek, fire away your play. Look at this Carolina play there by Jack's Boss 97, just loading up on all the Carolina schools, right?
Yeah. And while we're on the topic, just play the triple lock sound, because I've got the same parlay. East Carolina, Oregon State, two aces that you can trust against two inferior opponents. I like it.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Triple lock. ECU, Oregon State parlay. Yeah, I also want to ask you guys about this North Carolina game that I'm going to be at. Carolina, the Heels are laying 2.5 against Indiana. The over/under at 12. I mean, my first thought was taking the over. Am I crazy?
My first pick would be minus 2.5 UNC. Indiana's pitching is kind of rough. North Carolina, I think they have a super strong pitching staff. Once again, we were saying it all last year. One of the strongest pitching staffs in the country they had last year. They bring a lot of it back. And it was a really young pitching staff last season. So I think they're loaded once again on the mound. The lineup is relatively fresh. There's a lot of new faces there, a lot of new transfers, but they're older, experienced guys. So that's the positive. But day one, opening day, I expect the pitching staff for the Tar Heels to kind of carry the day. Give me for you minus 2.5 North Carolina. I think that's.
I have a rule: if you're going to the game, you have to bet it.
That's a fact.
Yes, 100%. It's like, I mean, come on, you're just sitting there. I don't care what sport it is. You have to. You have to go in. Bieniek, what other are your best bets, bud?
Yeah, I'll run through the card. Very similar to both Colby and Mac in college basketball. I just think I have a tremendous feel in college baseball, and I'll kind of spray the board and whatnot. So all of them basically one unit or like the same to win the same amount of money on each play, basically. I'll start off with my dog play, and that's Wright State. Sprinkle a little bit on the plus 370. We talked about it at the very beginning of the show, plus 4.5. Take that to kind of cover yourself from the money line in case there's, something wacky that happens, especially against maybe the Wright State bullpen that could try to give this game away in the late innings. Who knows? After Cam Allen is removed from it. And then, running up and down the order, there's no rhyme or rhythm to like how much I like the play or not. We're rocking with all three Globe Life Field unders. And this is how I kind of roll with trying to cover the game professionally in person as well. I'm not tweeting these out publicly, but I do think that the unders are perfect. You'll find it on the sportsgamblingpodcast.com. You'll find it in the 11.7 Discord. I'm just not putting it out there on Twitter. but I will say it on the podcast. I like the under 12.5 in Texas Tech, Oklahoma. I like the under 10.5 in Vanderbilt, TCU, and I like the under 11.5 in Arkansas, Oklahoma State. Like I said, the only reason why I'm not posting that publicly tomorrow when I do my entire card is I'm going to be covering the game with content of players and possibly coaches afterwards. So I'm just going to keep that separate. TCU plus 120. I think there's plenty of value on the Horned Frogs too. And that wraps up my Globe Life Field picks. I think UC Santa Barbara has plenty of value at plus 140 on the money line in Hattiesburg with Jackson Flora on the bump. I think the Gauchos lineup is capable of competing right alongside the Golden Eagles' talented lineup this year. Over 12 in Troy Mercer, one of my favorite bets of the day. Over 12 in Kansas Rio Grande. I think both offenses are loaded for this upcoming season. Under 12 Stanford, Arizona might be my play of the day or lock of the day, my favorite pick. To go along with that, I like Northwestern plus 145 on the money line against Rice. We didn't talk about this game at all, really. Rice, brand new coach, and Coach Pierce, formerly of Texas. He finished last season up. The Owls played really well, but I don't think that garners them to be a minus 170 favorite against the Wildcats, who I think is a program on the rise under Ben Greenspan. He's a coach that I've really bought into recently, and I think he's got plenty of talent in the lineup and a really good arm on Fridays to go for Northwestern there. Speaking of good arms on Fridays, Coulter McAnally of Utah is minus 110 against Fresno State. Lock it up. This guy is almost on the card for me every Friday. He's automatic. He's super consistent for Utah. Last year had a 3.79 ERA and 92.2 innings with 92 strikeouts, but he went 4-4. That's the only thing about this Utah team is they don't put up enough runs for him to win these games. But at minus 110, I think it's a disrespectful price against a mid-major team there. And the Bulldogs, I like the under 12.5 in Oregon State, Michigan. I like that Oregon State leg in the parlay with East Carolina at minus 125. And then the early morning parlay for me is a trio of ACC teams against inferior opponents, in my opinion. First off, I don't think Houston's as inferior to Wake Forest. I just wanted action on the first game of the day. Wake Forest money line in that parlay. Louisville against Michigan State. I think Louisville's offense is powerful and just is capable of putting up 10 runs a game. Michigan State.
You are a Michigan fan. You are a Michigan fan, though.
Yeah. Michigan State's offense was dead last in multiple offensive categories last year. Give me Louisville in this parlay. And then just to kind of get the parlay down to minus 100, I do think this is a fantastic storyline game. Clemson is hosting Army in a 3-game weekend series. They always do fantastic stuff honoring the veterans that visit their games. They're playing the Knights there at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. But I do think the Tigers end up victorious. That money line parlay of the 3 ACC teams, Wake Forest, Louisville, Clemson, is minus 106. And that's the card as of now.
All right. I mean, you said a lot of the ones I like there. I love the Kansas UT RVG, whatever the fuck. The Mexicans. The over 12 runs there. I'm also probably going to jump. I'm jumping on Kansas too. San Diego, the Toreros money line. I like your Wright State plus 4.5 runs. I will lay it with North Carolina because I'll be in the house. I'm laying it with ECU. I'm laying it with Oregon State. But part of that parlay as well. I do like the under in the Vandy TCU game. And one of my favorite plays, my final play on the board. We're going to the island. Hawaii, lay the 1.5 at minus 115 or minus 120. I see now. Lay the 1.5 against Gonzaga. These Bulldogs. All right, they're gonna get things done. Open up the season on the island well. All right. So final play on the board. You know I watch every Hawaii baseball game. America's team, folks. JP's on Twitter at headfirst_pod. Check out the Headfirst podcast, obviously. Bieniek's on Twitter at NoahB77_. If you're going to the game at Globe Life, hit him up. I'm on Twitter at @Colby. The College Baseball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Till next time, boys. This is the college baseball experience. Happy opening day. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.